Hi, welcome back friends. So today's video is again regarding Excel. So have you heard a term called as grouping in Excel sheets? So you might have grouped images in PowerPoint presentations. You even in Word you might have used this particular option called as grouping. So have you heard this particular grouping in Excel sheets? So there is an option called as grouping, and this is very effective and very useful. So today with an example I will try to demonstrate how it can be used and how you can simplify your activities using this particular option called as grouping in Excel sheets, right? So the advantage of grouping is that you will be able to edit or format multiple number of similar sheets using Excel sheet simultaneously. So you should do it only once. Once you do it, the formatting and the changes made by you will be automatically copied to all other sheets inside the Excel sheet. So for the demonstration purpose, what I have done is I have assumed that there is a school, and this particular school has got 4 divisions in first standard. The division names are A, B, C and D respectively, and each of these divisions has got almost students ranging from 25 to something like 35. So I have randomly allocated their marks for 5 subjects. So what I will do is I have made an separate Excel files of these particular 4 divisions with some random marks. So what we'll do is we'll try to simultaneously edit these particular 4 files at one instance, right? So if you're curious, please watch this particular video till the end, right? So we'll go into the video. So these are the 4 Excel sheets which I have made. So what I will do is I'll open up individually. Right. So this is class B, this is class A, this is class C, and finally this is class D. So we'll compare these particular files. So before comparing, what I will do is I will try to copy everything into one particular sheet so that it is easy for us to compare. So I will make a separate Excel sheet, and where I will be giving it as consolidated mark sheet for class 1, right? And I will open up this particular sheet, and what I will do is I will copy all these marks into this particular new sheet, right? So this is class A. I'll be copying the column width. This is class B. Here also what I'll do is I'll give the same column width. This is class C. This class has got a lesser number of students, so I'll be keeping it in the separate sheet. So this is class C, and finally this is class D. Right. Now what we'll do is we'll compare these particular 4 sheets. So this one is sheet 4, which has got the marks of division D. So for the simplicity, what I will name it as, this one is D division, this is C, this is B, and this one is A, right? So these are the divisions A, B, C and D, right? Again, this particular, if you want to group and edit the files, it should be similar in nature. It should have, like, you should make sure that the column A in all these particular files are roll numbers, and column B is basically the name of the student, and column C is English, and similarly Hindi, Malayalam, Maths as well as Science. So it has to be similar in nature. The number of students, it can vary, you don't have to bother about it, but it should be at least the columns, it should be is similar in nature. So this is one thing you will have to remember. Now what I will do is I will try to see and identify which of these particular sheets has got maximum entry. So this has got 30 students, B has got 32 students, C has got 25 students, and D has got 35 students. So what I will do is I will initially select this D as our reference point, because this particular D sheet has got maximum students. So this is our reference sheet. So once you select the reference sheet, what you can do is you can click on your control button in your keyboard, and you can select these sheets. Again, once you select this thing, here it basically changes to group, right? Then what I will do is I will select other B and A also. So this is the only difference which you will notice, and the color very slowly it basically changes to something like white, right? So this means that all these sheets are now selected. Now what I will do is I will try to enter some names of the school as well as the basic things at the top of this particular sheet. So what I will do is I will write back for tech school as the first column, first row, and second what I will do is I will write it as this one as division, and this is the final mark sheet, right? So the division, what I will do is this is also class 1, right? So class 1, right? So I will not be using this particular option, and what I will do is here I need to have something like total marks, and here I need to have something like rank of each student. So I will format these formats to this particular size, and what I will do is I will be merging this format. Again, I will be copying this format and I will be doing it for the final size. For the class, what I will do is I will be merging these two cells, and I will merge this cell, and I will be keeping these two cells, right? So here what I need to have is I need to have something like division A or division B or division C or division D. So right now if I select A, this A will be copied to all the sheets. So I will not do that. Instead I will manually enter after I do all the formatting, right? Now what I will do is I will increase the size of this particular font, and I will make it bold, and I will make something like an underline which will be highlighting this particular sheet. Now what I can do is I can find out the total marks. The total marks basically means the sum of marks this particular student has got in all these subjects, right? So for that what I will do is I will use the sum formula, and I will do this thing so that I will be getting the total marks. I will be dragging this till the end so that the formula is copied till the end, right? Now for the rank function, what is basically rank? Rank is basically where this particular student stands out of this 35 students, right? So to identify that, we do have a formula, right? Rank option is there. So this student has got 326 mark, right? And these are the number of students, other students in the class, right? So out of these students, where this particular student stands. So for that what I will do is I will do this formula. So this basically shows that this student is 31 out of 35 students. This one is the 31st student, right? So that is the meaning. So if I copy paste the formula as it is, then as you can see here you got something like a first rank, here you got something like a first rank. So the first rank is again coming again and again. So that means that your formula has got something wrong. So what I will do is I will check the formula. So this is H5, right? H5 is compared with all these numbers. So this formula is right. I don't see a problem with this particular formula. But this formula, this compares these numbers, but it is leaving out this particular number, right? So this H5 to H39, it is a constant thing. It should not change it should not change the formula, right? So if you want to make it fixed, then what you can say that you should change these reference values as absolute reference values. So making it absolute, what you should do is you should just press your F4 key in your keyboard, then a dollar symbol is added at the beginning as well as at the end of the column name. So once you do that, this becomes absolute reference. So you can do this the same for this particular function. You can even manually enter the dollar symbol, that will also work, but the easiest option is to press the F4 symbol, right? So this one I manually entered and I will be entering it. Now what I will do is I will copy paste this formula again back to this particular cells. Now you can see this hasn't changed. This is still H5 H39, right? Again, if you could see over here, this is also H5 and H39. So this has made whatever the dollar symbol, it has made this thing as absolute or fixed values. So once it is done, this is the student which has got the maximum marks, right? Again, this is basically random numbers, so it doesn't mean anything, but in your case this will be different, right? Once you do that, what I will do is I will go with the borders. I will go with all borders. Then I will be selecting these cells and I will be adjusting the column width, right? So now this looks really good. Again, one thing you should notice is that once you are working in group sheets, then you will not be able to go for the conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is one thing which will be really useful. Let us say 50% is the pass mark. Let us say 50% is the pass percentage. So out of 100, if a person has to pass, he or she has to get minimum 50 marks. So if I want to highlight the students which has got lesser than 50, then you will not be able to do it from here. For that, you will have to manually do that, right? So the conditional formatting, it will not work. So I believe we have completed all the formatting. So what I will do is I will deselect these things. So once you deselect, as you could see, whatever formatting we have done, it has been copied to all the sheets. So we'll be selecting A and we'll be giving the name for the division as A, and for the B we'll be giving it as B. For the C we'll be keeping it as C. Similarly for the D we'll be keeping it as D. And for A, this basically we don't have students over here, right? So what I will do is I will delete those cells. Again, for B, these are not needed because we don't have the students over there. For C, we do have some more columns, some more rows which we don't need. So I'll be deleting all those things. Now what if I want to have all these sheets in a single file? So what I can do is I can again select all these cells, then I can go into file option, then I can go with something like print option. Once you go for the print option, you can, as you can see, this total as well as the rank, it comes basically in the next sheet, right? So it comes in the next sheet. So what you can do is you can arrange the size of the margin. So if you could click over here, right, if you could click over this particular thing, the margin size basically comes in. So from there you will be able to adjust these things in such a way that you can get the exact values where you want, right? So this is something I want. Again, in each sheet you will have to do the correction. So if you are able to do that, then we can finalize the thing, right? And even in the final sheet we will have to do the thing, right? So once you do that, you can go into the save as option and you can save it as either XLSX or you can export it as PDF. So once you export it into the PDF, you will be getting a single sheet which has got 4 pages. And if you could zoom out, you could see this is division A with all the formatting, with all the rank function. Similarly, this is basically the second page, this is third page, this is the fourth page. Again, if you could highlight the students who has got lesser marks, then what you can do is you can deselect the option. Right, once you deselect the option, the conditional formatting basically appears, right? So you can select the 5 subjects, then you can go into the conditional formatting, you can highlight less than, you can highlight say 50, you can go into custom format and you can go into something like highlight these options so that it is clearly visible, right? If you are going to print this particular file, then you can go with something like darker option, right? You can go to the manage rules and you can go with something like a darker shade, right? This particular shade will be really good, right? So that it is clearly visible in the white sheet, right? So if you are going to email this particular thing, then you can go with the colored option, right? So again, for the second sheet, again this has to be done in all the sheets separately. Manually we will have to do it. Again, less than 50, right? You can go into the custom format and you can go with something like a darker shade, right? Okay. Similarly, B, right? You can go into the conditional formatting, less than 50, right? Custom format, right? Okay, right? A, again you can go into the conditional formatting, less than 50, right? Custom format, right? Okay, so this doesn't has any one failed, so let us say 49, right? So as you could see, it is working well and fine. Now once you do that, you can again go into the save as option and you can save it as the PDF file, right? So it will ask whether we want to overwrite on the same thing. So if you could give the overwrite option, then the whole thing basically changes and you will get the exact, again we didn't select the whole thing, right? So if you want to have all the pages, you should group this thing and then you can go into the save as option and you can go into the PDF option and you can save it, right? So once you do that, if you click on this particular option, this will have 4 sheets, right? So this is class A, this is B, this is C, and this is finally the D, right? So I hope this information is useful. I find it really useful if you're a teacher or if you're someone who basically enters manually does the formatting for all these particular pages, then this particular information will be really useful. I hope this information is useful. Please try out all these options in your Excel sheet. If you are having any doubts or if you want to communicate something to my side, please make use of the comment box, right? Hope we have learned something new today, right? Bye bye for now.